Welcome back to part 3 of working on Caribbean Moon. Here we go.
On the sparkling beach, soaking in the warm sand, and for my hand, you now reach, you now reach.
So the word reach is too swallowed up by the instrument. It's too low. So that's 47. Reach. Up. And I just make all the notes go all the way through the song, and then I go through and make all the changes later.
You now reach.
It's really the ch.
Reach.
It's the last part, like the second half of the word reach and the ch.
Smooth jazz. You have certainly made me. You have certainly made me.
See, I'm hearing glitches occasionally because of that's my computer.
You have certainly made me.
That should all be a little louder.
You have certainly made me.
Especially the word me. So 50, 53 made me. I'm going to underline me and write a little up note, a little up arrow.
You have certainly made me.
The whole thing.
You have certainly made me.
Mainly certainly made me.
Your biggest fan. You have certainly made me. Your biggest fan.
Interesting thing. I could get rid of,
Your biggest fan. You have certainly made me. Your biggest fan.
I have an artistic decision to make here, and I think I might do it. Get rid of this vocal. So it would be, so it'll say,
You have certainly made me.
I want that a little louder too. We almost want to bring up all the vocals, but I'm not sure. I don't think so. 53. Oh, yeah, we already have that.
You have certainly made me. Your biggest fan. Your biggest fan.
Biggest fan. So 58. Fan up a little.
Biggest fan.
Now, what if I deleted this line and so it would go,
Your biggest fan.
just had your biggest fan after a bunch of instrumentation? It'd be great if you could say, I'm your biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan. Do I ever say I'm? I don't think so. No, I never do say that. Now, again, if I were making the big money, what I could do is create another version with the line I'm your biggest fan. Use that for parts and copy and paste the word I'm in. I'm, just the word I'm. Now, okay, but I'm not doing that. I'm not making the big bucks yet. Now, in the future with the AI, again, I could just say, hey, Suno, go ahead and bring this line farther to the left, closer to this one. We're going to get rid of
You have certainly made me.
You have certainly made me, although so beautiful. Anyway, I'm a little torn here, but it's an idea.
You have certainly made me. Your biggest fan. You have certainly made me. your biggest fan.
I thought of another idea. I could say, you have certainly made me, and delete all of this, just the vocals. And so it would be, you have certainly made me a lot of instrumentation, and then
Your biggest fan. You came to my rescue.
that's a tough, I don't know whether that's going to be good or not.
You have certainly made me your biggest fan. You have certainly made me your biggest fan.
It would be a bit of a, going out on a little bit of a limb artistically, but it would make it less AI-ish and a little more of a human involvement. I'm going to experiment with it. We're going to take out,
Your big.
we're going to take all that out and just leave this one and see if it works. It might work. It's going to be a long, the reason it's, another idea is just excise some of this and bring the instrumentation together, which might work. But it's a long pause. You're giving the audience, you're making the audience wait a long time for the payoff. Sometimes I think I've heard it in popular music before, not very often. And popular music like that things that do well. But it would be a risk. You're risking. But with this kind of music, the lyrics are not as important as the vibe. You could get away with just saying, "You have made me," and even that kind of works. I'm getting philosophical here, and talk about working with the AI and putting the human touch on there by removing. But the thing is, you have made me. That you could. That's in the English language. That can work on its own. You have made me, meaning like you have made me. You have made me a full person. You've created the me that's me now, which I really like and I'm very happy to be. You have made me. Because of that, this can work. Because even if there were no other line, it would be better if it were sung more like, you have made me. Like it would have to be. I'm not a singer, obviously. That's why I'm paying this robot to do my dirty work. All right.
Your biggest fan.
Yeah, this is going to work, and that's a little close together. See, that's so. I'd rather this. You had made me. I'd like to have it kind of stretch out the word me, a bit of instrumentation, then maybe right about here come in with my biggest fan. Your biggest fan.
Your biggest.
So what we're going to try, we can do two different versions. I've never done this before. This will be interesting. This is right about. So we're at 57. Delete
Your biggest.
your two
Me. Certainly
made me at 104. So 57 to 104, delete that. All right.
Your biggest fan. You came.
And luckily there's enough instrumentation here before our next. Like if this had been closer, having all that wait for a payoff and then bringing in the next line too quickly would not work artistically as well.
You came.
It would be better if there were more. Because of all that space, it would be better to add more space there. And we might take instrumentation and try to splice it in. That's really risky because when you can tell there's an edit, that takes you out of the experience of what you're trying to create with this music, which is that relaxation and and reinvigoration of the spirit.
You came to my rescue.
Came is almost too loud.
Came to my rescue, and not a moment too soon, and now we're here. You came to my rescue.
But it's a strong statement. So if I bring this down, now, there's another way of doing this, by the way, is taking it down with the instrumentation. The instrumentation is a little harsh, like loud too. So if I took that down to 91, just 9%.
You came to my rescue, and not a moment too soon.
I'll bring it back.
Came to my rescue.
If I bring it down, I have to bring it down just slightly. So I'm going to do that. 109. 109.
Not a moment too soon. A moment too soon.
To like 1. Let's see. You came to.
Not a moment too soon.
Mo.
Moment too soon, and now we're here. Under the Caribbean moon. Caribbean moon. Now we're here. Under the Caribbean moon.
Now, see, there's an example of when the instrumentation is too loud, but I can take care of that later because there are no vocals involved. So I just fix that later in the final mix. By the way, that Caribbean, that really does start to rub me the wrong way, how he says Caribbean and they say Caribbean. I'm going to get flack for that. But again, I think I'm just going to leave it. And one could argue, not saying that it's right, that there's an artistic expression in doing that, in using both. Like the answer I could give in any kind of a press briefing. I mean, that's total folly to fantasize like that this could actually go anywhere. But I could say something like, well, there are people who would argue for Caribbean and Caribbean. They're going to fight over it. So if I give them both, at least I've given them both ways. And that is sort of, and it is like and it is an artistic, so that's my, let's continue, yes. Ha! By the way, just a note, in here, there's a little, you can hear, it's so good, the AI is so good with what it, you seem to want to trust it, but you can hear there are some notes that are played that are wrong in here, like they're slightly off, or too many, there's where you could split it down into extra stems. And again, if I were making the big bucks, and maybe someday I'd re-edit it. But you can go through and find which instruments are the offending instruments and just take those either lower, down, or delete them from that part of the mix. Right here, it's sounding a little messy, a little noisy. And here it starts to get back into smooth jazz. In fact, from here to here, it's almost as though it's kind of breaking off into a little bit of experimental. There's the word experimental jazz. A little bit. And then it gets back to the smooth Kenny G era, you know, non-traditional jazz vibe from here forward, I think.
Under the Caribbean moon, under the Caribbean moon, under this Caribbean moon, under the Caribbean moon.
I'm just going to bring that vocal down, what I call a tiny. I make a little note that says tiny, which means almost nothing. Just a little. And this one.
Under this Caribbean moon. Ooh, you have certainly made me your biggest fan. Caribbean moon. Ooh, under this Caribbean. Ooh, under this Caribbean moon. Under this Caribbean moon. Caribbean moon. Caribbean moon.
I'm going to bring the high end, the EQ up on there, 310. EQ up. The highs, bring the highs up a little.
Under the Caribbean moon.
Yeah, that's cute and all, but I'm going to go ahead and do the fade here. I'm going to go ahead and do the fade. Okay, here we go. We're going to undo, and now we're back to here. Now we go through and make our changes. So go to 46. That's our first change. Wait, no, that's breezy. Caribbean moon. Oh, actually, it's 47, the word reach. So we go here. I love this part because you have all, because I've taken all that time to do this. So
you now reach.
Yeah, definitely.
Reach.
The way to handle that.
You now reach. Reach.
There we go. Even more like that. Now, bring this way up 200%. Maybe even more.
You now reach.
There we go. Save that. Welcome. Now I go to 53. You have made the word me.
You have certainly made me.
Let's see. Is it just the word me? No, the whole thing I wanted up, but mainly me. So we bring that up 115. Just 115. And then.
Me. have certainly made me.
A way to handle that. There we go. We bring the whole thing up.
You have certainly made me.
Maybe too loud. This part. We're going to do that. Bring that down to 91.
You have certainly made me.
For now, we're gonna go with that. I might change that later. Now we go to 58. Biggest fan up. 58. Here we go.
Your biggest fan. Your biggest fan.
I guess the whole thing. I'm feeling, yeah, 127 is about right.
Your biggest fan. You have certainly made me.
Oh. Delete. No, I was going to get rid of all that. So here's what we're going to do.
You have certainly made me.
Here's what I'm going to do.
Your biggest fan.
Bring that up. I don't even need to bring that up much, just 110. Now we're going to do save that. Now I'm going to go save as marriage, all caps, experiment. Welcome. Well, sorry. So anyway, now I'm going to get rid of that, and we have the other one without getting rid of that. So we're going to have two. I've never done this before. So we're going to have 57 delete. So
you have certainly made me your biggest fan.
And we simply go like that. Now we move on.
You can't.
Yeah. Now 104 to 109. You came 111, 107, 109. Wait. Oh no, that's there. Okay. 109 to 111. Here we are.
You came to my rescue, and not a moment too soon. And now
Wow. You came to. I didn't make a clear enough note. Oh, you came to a mom all up a little bit, I think. I didn't make the note.
now we're here, a moment too soon. And now we're a rescue, and not a moment too soon. And now we're too soon, moment too soon.
Is this supposed to be down?
Your biggest fan. You came to my rescue, and not a moment.
I don't remember what I'm supposed to do there. It doesn't sound bad. I'm going to go ahead and just, I think it's loud enough, but maybe the instrumentation's very loud. I'm going to bring it up 110, and then we'll figure it out later. We'll listen back and then see if it sounds too loud or too soft. Now, 200 to 203, bring down a tiny bit. I made better notes there. And we don't have, so everything else is good up until here. Wow.
Under the Caribbean moon.
Yeah, it is loud. I totally get that. 91, let's go 89.
Under the.
Yep, that's what I wanted.
Under the Caribbean moon.
Now, we're almost done. 227, needs to come down. As in the word under, I think. 227.
Caribbean moon. Ooh, under this Caribbean.
Yeah, there it is.
Under this Caribbean.
Yeah, pretty simple. What I'll do is go. Like that. Like that. And that's pretty good right there.
Under this Korean.
There, I fixed it. Now, the EQ of 310, and then we are done. Oh, it's just this.
Under the Caribbean.
And it does sound. So what we're going to do, we could actually really do a little more like, might be too much. We don't, because my ears don't hear the super highs, and other people might find that very harsh.
Under the Caribbean moon. Under the Caribbean moon.
Sounds pretty good. I'm going to bring
under the Caribbean moon. Under the Caribbean moon. Under the Caribbean moon. Under the Caribbean moon. Under the Caribbean moon.
See the difference?
Under the Caribbean moon.
Might be harsh for some people's ears. I'm not sure, but I'm going to try that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the music back in here and try with the experiment. And if I'm liking the vibe, if I like the vibe, then we don't even need to use the other one. But if I'm unsure, then we can actually do it with the other one as well. When I didn't fix any of the others going forward, oh, what I should do, here's what I should do. This is going to have to be done exactly right, but where did I make that? 57. So anything from 57 onward.
Your biggest fan.
So from here to the end, we need to duplicate everything in the other one. Yeah, I'm glad I remembered that. It's the marriage without experiment. Here it is. So what we're going to do now, this is where some of the rubber meets the road.
Your biggest fan.
That's great. In fact, even from there all the way to the end, we go zoom in all the way in, find where that waveform starts. 104,470. 104,470. I mean, we could do that. 104,470. And I go like this. 104,470. And it should end up with 241,851. We're almost done with this part. We're going to be moving on to part 4 very soon. In case I forget and the video just cuts off, I apologize in advance. And here we go. Okay. 104,470. Wait a minute.
Under the Caribbean moon. Now we're here.
57.
I've suddenly made your biggest fan.
104,470. Somewhere right in this area. Wow. 104,470. Right in here. So we should be able to go like this and then paste 851. Oh my God, it worked. It's all in there now. That's all the new corrected stuff from
your biggest fan.
Yeah, that one's good. And that's a glitch in the computer.
Your biggest fan.
Okay, now on to part 4.